You will fall in love with me. You will take me away from this place.
Disclosure, news and commentary number 122, 122, 122, 122, 122, 122, 122. Holy shit. New patrons. 31 different people. Tremendous. Love it. Unboxing. Not from the usual t-shirt company. So, I don't know. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Today's commentary is going to be about our man Ben Buchanan. And really cool stuff in regards to him and his soon-to-be journey to the Performance Center here in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to let you see it at the same time I see it. Let's hope it's cool. 1, 2, 3. Oh, snap! Oh, shit. Come on. If you know, you know. Come on, man. Dude, that is the coolest. I'm not going to wear it because I'm going to work out right after I do this video. But there is not. Dude, you guys got to take credit for giving me these things. People don't let me know until usually way after. Dude. That's the coolest. That's the coolest. Oh my God. Live Pro Wrestling report was sent in. All right, Live Pro Wrestling, it's officially the shittiest name. Now that face to face to face is not in business anymore, Live Pro Wrestling, you're the shittiest name going. Change that bullshit. Fuck duck. I was shocked to see Spinebuster was still doing shows and shit. That name fucking blows too. Most everybody's got at least a decent name going. Live Pro Wrestling. Go fuck your mother. That name is terrible. Terrible. Change that. Hey, you didn't draw no 202. Come on. Who sent that bullshit in? People told me they had like 160 at the bell, and then some other people came in. They didn't have no 202. The pictures, all right, whatever. Okay. And then IWN at 200. Rob Rod's got a report up where he definitely is fucking shining a turd and making that thing sound like it was this great show. Some of the matches in ring, I'm sure, were amazing. I'm sure West Coast Kings and Exotic Ones was good. Exotic Youth was good. But, like, who the fuck are we fooling? Like, everything I heard about that show was just like fucking disaster, disaster, disaster. The entranceway was tight, but the show just looked like it was not run very well, etc., etc., etc. But you can read Rob Rod's report on gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com. But when people who were on that show are telling me like horror stories about that show, I know there were aspects of it that were dog shit. But you can hear about that on my Patreon. I talk about the stuff that I heard about Live Pro Wrestling and about IWN on Patreon. Moving on. Renegade for their anniversary show. So those mofos have been around 16 years. I guess they used to run weekly, and now they run bi-weekly, bi-curiously. And Logan Chase was announced as their commissioner. It's a good look. Pro South did their thing. I did a live look at the entire show as it was happening. And, of course, the talk of that show is for that cinematic thing at the end, which I'm still mulling over in my mind. Anytime you can get me thinking about something that much, that means it looked good. You know, Michaela and others who put that thing together, it looked good. you know, I was asked to be at that thing. I just couldn't. I just can't freaking drive that much. Like I gotta work. I gotta make money. It's tough. I do wish I was at the thing because I would have chipped in on the fight choreography for the sword stuff. Made sure that looked good. I used to do, for those that don't know, when I was in Atlanta, I did fight choreography at just about every theater in Atlanta at some point or another. Especially when it was something unusual, they wanted me to do their fight choreography, which I enjoyed doing quite a bit. Cool. Speaking of which, because that live thing went so well with the Pro South, and so many people commented that they really liked it, I'm going to do it for I saw the Nightmare Factory just released their 3rd student graduation show. They just released that today. So I'm going to take a look at that thing in the next day or two as well. And, you know, you want to watch that because that's the people that you can get booked on your show. They're all looking for bookings. They're all looking to get out there. And from all accounts, dealing with those Nightmare Factory trainees is awesome. They're trained right, look right. QT is running a seminar in the Miami area this Saturday, by the way. Cool. What else is going on? Oh my God, this story. So Ashton Starr is part of a video game. I did a reaction to the trailer thing, which I kind of adapted. So instead of me just blathering on and on, let me just show you that right here. So excited to look at this trailer for the Wrestling Code. These are some of the people that are going to be in it. I mean, I already know Ashton Starr's in it, but I just want to look at this thing. Let's take a look. Unreal.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow.
Jump and Jesus on a pogo stick, slow down. Alright, so SHAD, oh, that's cool. Matt Seidel, sure. Killer Kelly, Ken Shamrock, Tay Conti. That's cool. Eli Drake. I might have to do it this way. JTG. Cool. Evilise. Elijah Burke. That's the Pope. Kenny King. LSG. Not familiar. Bull James. Congo Kong. Oh, I remember him from Impact. Sean Donovan. Zach Gowen, of course. Victor Benjamin. PJ Black. Okay. PJ Black, meaning that's not just incredible. That's Pelasco or something, right? Gregory Iron. Big fan of his. Vic. Sifa Fatu. Matt Morgan. Taking a break from being the man. Holodead, love Holodead. Matt Taven, sure. David Mercury. He's somebody who I was really impressed with at the Heroes and Villains show. Yeah, and he's running Championship Wrestling from Florida, or he's one of those guys. Sick Nick Mondo. Midas Black. Timmy Lou Retton, good for him. White Mike of the Ducklings. Brandon Tate. Zicky Dice, boy, you want to talk about getting your name out everywhere. I mean, when he popped up in that Battle Royal from MLW. And Lindsay Snow, of course. LLOYD ANOA'I. Cheeseburger. Willow Nightingale, Ashley Vox, Patrick Voros, Chris Voros, Facade, Kevin Riley. I'm not familiar with a lot of these people, just putting it out there. Leon Scott. Anthony Greene, that's cool. Just met him at the Division Pro show in the crowd. He was just released by WWE not that long ago. I'm sure they're going to bring him back, but it's cool that he was there, and that's cool. Brian Milonas. Bear Bronson. Okay. Rob Van Dam. Guess who most people are going to want to play in this game? And many more. But Ashton Starr is going to be one of them. Apparently Danny Jordan as well. So that's super cool. Right on. So super cool. Yeah, a lot of the names on there are really interesting. Tay Conti being on there shocked me. Maybe she doesn't have an AEW deal, or maybe she did that before, she signed up for that thing before. Certainly a lot of interesting names, a bunch of names I did not know, and then some names I couldn't help but know, like Rob Van Dam, etc., etc., etc. So exciting wrestling video game stuff. Always exciting, exciting, exciting. Tipping point. We're going to have Scott Hensley talking about the SCI. We're going to have a Halen, who apparently is nervous. This guy's been around wrestling forever and a day. He's nervous about being on Tipping Point. Folks, if you're still nervous about being on Tipping Point at this stage in the game, you have not listened to it clearly. Larry's design, my design, is for you to promote your stuff and to sound good. Now, I can say it's not like super easy in the sense that I'm always going to throw you questions designed to get like a real interesting take on something. But, you know, if you're a moron, yeah, I'm going to bury you. But most people who come on there, we're there to make you look good, there to make you sound good, etc., etc., etc. Who would have thought, though, with all those shows happening, that really the show that took it, Pro Wrestling Circuit, not only did they draw the most at 268, apparently it was a very good show. And Diana Michelle, I heard, took a bump. What's the story there? Man, better not bruise her up. That's all I gotta say. What else do we got story-wise? Cameron Cade. Oh God, I'm freezing up. I mean, he was arrested again for the same shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Still supporting that guy? I saw he posted today on Facebook about some don't get vaccinated shit. Huh. Better not get fucking vaccinated, woman. Fuck. Should have made that joke. But I did. The fuck is going on in this world? All right. Let's look at... It's a couple things to look at. Let's look at this first. You know, Rant Bell's going to come on, right? So let's look at this. All right. So this is, you know, I always get the screen capture for Dark Elevation, though I'm going to change the format of what I do slightly on stuff. But so what is noteworthy in this picture? So Dark Elevation, I always think the graphics look really, really tight. They look really, really, really tight. Oh my God. Sorry for trying to sound like a younger person. That was lit, guys. Oh God. My kids hate it when I do that on purpose. So you see here AEW Dark Elevation, episode 21, all that kind of good stuff. So, you know, I get the screen capture well before the show comes on. That way I can use it along with the audio. Great. Wonderful. Love it. However, here's the part that interests me. So keep in mind, it says premieres in 31 minutes, right? And so the show isn't even on yet, but people, you know, kind of check in and that kind of thing. Here's the part that got me. 8 thumbs down. Oh my God. Like, those are people that went out of their way. So they haven't seen the show yet because it hasn't premiered, right? So they literally just came on there, clicked a thumbs down just to be like a full-on dick. God, wrestling fans, what the fuck is wrong with you right now? What the fuck is wrong? It's one thing to see something and complain about it. It's even something to have like a fucking viewpoint and you know, everybody's got that lens that I talk about all the time that people look through, and you watch the show and you're already like this and you already want to hate it. But to click thumbs down, I mean, this kind of dickhead rah-rah tribalism shit with pro wrestling. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Another interesting thing that popped up. Let's look at this. This is Tyler Breeze, right? Tyler Breeze, who I should note had been with WWE since 2010. So this guy's been with him 11 years. Okay, that's a long stretch, right? But he had said a number of things, and this part was the part I wanted to talk about anyway. So I thought it was nice that it was in a nice little meme format. It says, "I hate when people are like, I was never given an opportunity. I was never given a chance. I was held down. That's a whole separate conversation. But that's such an excuse of, you don't know what you signed up for. We signed a piece of paper for a certain amount of money to sit on the bench and get used if we get used. If they choose not to use you, it doesn't mean I can go on social media and bitch and complain and go, I'm getting held down. Nope. If you're not okay with that, then quit your job." Tyler Breeze on wrestlers using social media to express frustration about their booking. I get the sentiment that basically once you sign that contract, you're going to get used however they're going to use you. And if you don't like it, quit. There's stuff you can say about that many times wrestlers ask to be released and are not. That's another thing. But yeah, you sign that piece of paper. I think the phrase, it doesn't mean I can go on social media and bitch and complain. Yeah, you can. But I get his sentiment as well. Now, granted, he got paid for 11 years, and he kind of goes into the story of how in the beginning he was really scared that he wasn't getting used when it was FCW, and that Norman Smiley gave him a bit of advice, which was like, just relax, and be ready. I think the be ready discussion is really great. Of course, yeah, you should be ready, and you should be ready to go when your number is called. But I gotta say, Tyler Breeze is somebody that I used to see perform on those NXT shows at Full Sail, back when like Paige was hot shit, and and Emma was do 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 do, and Tyler Breeze was given this great thing where he had his phone and whatever he was filming was transmitting on the screen, and he was over like Rover. But I mean, you just can't. This thing of everybody else dictating how everybody else should react to getting released and fired and that kind of stuff. I think that bullshit's got to stop too. When Carl Anderson tells people like, how they should react. Don't be so nice to the company that released you. You know what? Fuck everybody and their fucking opinions about what other people should do. Yeah? Fucking Omega willing, any number of people that I know or myself get a deal with some fucking huge wrestling company. That's great. That's one brass ring, but for a lot of people, that's not their final brass ring. They want to make their mark. They want to be great. And I think anything that dissuades somebody from what their definition of greatness would be, fuck you. That's what I'm saying to the wrestlers and wrestling people out there. And fuck, man. Never apologize for fucking striving for greatness and being disappointed when it isn't happening. Now, I'm a big proponent of don't go on social media and bitch about stuff as a general rule, or don't do anything that's going to fucking hurt you for something that's not going to, like, what good can come of this is the question I always tell people to ask before they post or do anything. What good can come of this? But at the same time, like, fuck. But I just thought Tyler Breeze put that out. I thought it was really interesting. He's obviously a guy that was in the know. Apparently he's got a school right near me. He and Sean Spears, apparently. So I'm hoping to check that out at some point. In any case, cool. IWE, by the way, I work with them, and really excited. Tim is always striving to make that show better and better and better, and I was really excited about who they got to do the next two shows at least. I just wanted to put that out there, that IWE, their show isn't until September 25th. I think tickets don't go on sale for 2 weeks. But, man, it's really exciting getting to hear what people are doing. And speaking of which, this weekend is a huge weekend between SCI and the SCI Futures Show and the fucking Rumblejack show. Kudos to Southern Honor for getting that Rumblejack thing over. This is the third time they're doing it, I believe, to the point where that feels like one of their two or three big shows of the year. I think that's a really great job. And there's a ton of people in that Rumblejack, and we've put all their names out there. And, you know, that's the show that I go out of my way to watch. Here's what's interesting to me. Rob Rod is going to SCI, which means Larry is going to Southern Honor. I don't know the last time Larry was at a Southern Honor show. And he's there for Rumblejack, so it's definitely their chance to impress. And by the way, I think Scott Hensley wrote a cool thing, or somebody else did, about where they asked all the peoples in the SCI Futures thing a couple of questions, and one of the questions were like, what do you want to get out of this? And those answers from those young wrestlers were really, really great. I urge you to go to gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com and read that shit. Let me make sure real quick that I covered everything I wanted to cover. Video game thing. Pro Wrestling Circuit making their thing known. What I'm going to be doing. Cool. Commentary. This one probably won't be long unless I rant and rave, which I shouldn't rant and rave. But I just thought that this was a great insight on things. So Ben Buchanan, the secret's out, right? He's done all the indie shows that he's going to do, culminating with Pro South. And he's on his way here. He's on his way to Orlando to the Performance Center. So I contacted somebody I knew, Ryan, who works really through NXT and the Performance Center. And, you know, I just put the word out to Ryan, like, you know, Ben Buchanan's going to be there. He's really great. And, you know, with this idea of, like, if there's ever whatever, contact me. Like, you know, just this kind of thing of, like, look out for him. He's really great. He's got the good attitude, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And Ryan's response to me was, one, to thank me. He's like, cool, man, for sure, you know. But he goes, like, Ben Buchanan had one of the best, like, tryouts that I had ever seen. You know how cool that was to read? You know how cool and how good? I mean, I didn't fucking train Ben Buchanan. Don't get me wrong. Like, no, of course not. But that's someone I know and like, and I'm rooting for, as I am for many, many wrestlers. To get that kind of feedback from somebody that I know and trust who works for WWE, to say that is one of the best tryouts I've ever seen. That fucking feels great. And that makes me so hopeful for Ben. And I wanted him to hear this too, because I know he listens to this thing. And it made me realize, you know what? Wrestlers, specifically, female, male wrestlers, you know what your goal should be? Just to make something more specific for you. Obviously, it's, I want to get a job here, I want to get a job here, I want to get a contract, I want to wrestle in Japan, la 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 la. Your goal, added to your goal, should be, if I have a tryout with WWE, I want Steve to be able to communicate with somebody that works there and have them say, it's one of the best tryouts I've ever seen. Or we were blown away and super impressed with so-and-so when your name comes up. Or if I'm talking to somebody that I know at AEW, for them to say, dude, we love so-and-so, which I've heard from about a couple of people who were there. And by no small coincidence got signed by AEW. That should be your goal. And you need to move your mindset just slightly to get that idea. So what can you do to make sure that when your shot comes up, at either AEW or wherever, NWA, like, is it cool that Sal is getting so good at NWA? Of course. Or Tyreek, like, of course. So just think about that. Make sure that when you go there for your tryout at NXT, or you doing your dark match thing at AEW, that you not only pass the test with a C, but that you impress. To the point where if I bring up your name, what gets bounced back to me is, we love blah, 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 in the case of AEW. Or, That's one of the best tryouts I've ever seen. Something about reading Ryan saying that really moved me, and it made me feel really good because, you know, when WWE's getting rid of people, and a lot of contracts at AEW are ending, by the way. And so you're going to see a lot of people who are like out on the market now, right? Who are not going to be signed anymore and that kind of thing. And there's going to be all this kind of discussion, but none of that, wrestlers, and you know, with whatever Tyler Breeze says, none of that has anything to do with the guys who are trying to get the spots. So to have that mentality, that's all I'm going to say. The mentality should be, how can I get it that I'm impressing? Not just good enough to be there. Get this shit out of trying to convince yourself whether you're good enough. If you're getting that fucking tryout, you're good enough. Now it's just a matter of, can you win? Can you really take the spot? Because it is a slightly different mentality. And so for people who are coming up or coming down south for QT's seminar, or who are going to be part of Bob Cook's seminar in GIPW, I think the goals are probably different there. But one goal remains the same. It's not enough just to be there. It's about impressing. And impressing implies a word that people don't want to hear, but it's the real word. And that is competition. You are trying to get a spot that other people are trying to get. It is musical fucking chairs. And guess what? When the time comes, that music is going to end, and what are you going to do to make sure your ass is in the fucking chair? In this time of plenty in wrestling, where it seems like you can get a wrestling job easier than you ever have been able to, and there's so many opportunities available, and now shows are running again, and a lot of them are doing really well, and people are getting all these spots, never fucking forget that fact that this shit is musical chairs. And eventually it's going to come down to you and somebody else, one fucking chair, the music's playing, and then that music is going to end. What are you going to do to get your ass on that chair? This has been Full Disclosure.